Or copy either. Oh.
Hello, everyone. We are live. Yay. Okay.
Hola.
So we are live talking about the A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. I don't have my copy because I'm visiting family in Orlando. But Kat and Chloe have their beautiful copies of the book. And for those of you who tune in every month, usually it's just Chloe and I who are here for the Once Upon a Read Along. But if you were watching the live show from last month, we announced that we were going to have something super awesome planned for you guys. And that is that we are going to have special guests every single month talking about the book with us. We're going to have a different booktuber every single month talking about the book. And this month it is Kat from For the Love of Books. So with that, I'll actually go ahead and let Kat introduce herself or say something nice and fun, and then we can get into our or actually let's just go ahead and do that. Let's talk about
So many things are happening all at once.
Yeah, what's going on? Who's listening to me talk?
I'm tweeting and listening.
Oh, okay. I could hear myself. Anyway. So what was I saying? I'm like totally off track of what I was saying. So okay, well go ahead. I'll let Kat introduce herself and give us your initial thoughts on ACOWAR, what you rated it, and something that you thought about it, non-spoilery.
And your star rating.
Yeah, just super short and sweet.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Kathleen, and my channel is For the Love of Books. And ACOWAR was one of my most anticipated releases of this year. And I have to say I really enjoyed it. Asimov is still my favorite book. It was my favorite book that I read last year, but I still really enjoyed this one. I initially gave it 4.5 stars, but I did lower it to just 4 stars. I just felt like the book was a little long, and I felt like it dragged in a lot of places, but I still enjoyed the story. I loved how it ended, and I loved how it kind of wrapped up the first part of the story, because we're going to get another 3 books, but I did really, really like the book.
And I will go ahead and talk about my initial thoughts while Chloe is sharing all of the things. So I gave ACOWAR a 5 out of 5 stars. This is my favorite book in the series. I just feel like, especially, there was so much tumultuous things going on with Feyre in the first 2 books. And while there was a lot of stuff going on here, mostly surrounding the romance, right? Like, the first book was all about Tamlin, and the second book was all about Rhys, and I feel like kind of like their relationship especially really leveled out in this, all the romance stuff really leveled out in this story, which I really enjoyed, and it just kind of came to like a really big high point in the series for me. So I liked this book the best. It's definitely my favorite of the 3, and I loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. It was absolutely amazing. Chloe?
Okay, so if you've been following my wrap-ups on my channel, you know how I feel about ACOTAR, which I thought it was horrible. And then Asimov, like the first half was horrible. And then, you know, the recent Feyre ship happened, and I was good. And then the second half was really good. And then I ended up loving this one, just solely because of that ship. That's the only reason why I love this book now. And I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Which I think is a big step up from the like 3 that I gave ACOTAR and the 3.5 that I gave Asimov.
Okay, sorry guys, that sun is like directly in my eyes. So I'm moving to a different location because it is, I can't even see anything. It's so bright.
Elizabeth, we're in the middle of a live show. You're moving.
I know, I'm moving. I'm sorry, guys, but this is much better. I didn't even think about coming in my mom's office. Like, okay, all right, now there's no sun in my eyes and I feel a lot better about this. So, for anyone who is watching, we talk about our non-spoilery stuff, but now that we have give all of our initial thoughts and talk to non-spoilery things, we're going to move into the spoilers. So if you haven't read A Court of Wings and Ruin, just so you know, all the spoilers are coming. And then, of course, we have we're going to probably spoil ACOTAR and Asimov, the first 2 books in the series. There's no getting around that. So if you haven't read the books yet, leave now, come back after you've read them and watch the video. But yes, all of the spoilery things. So what do you guys want to talk about first?
Rhys and Feyre.
And like what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, like I love them. I love them so much. I was like different from everybody else in this like what's it called? In this fandom. Everyone in the fandom fell in love with Rhys in book 2, and I was not a fan. Like,
I loved it from book 1. I loved him from book one. He was like the one that I wanted her to end up with from book one.
I just hated everything from book one, so I just was like, I don't know what to do.
But no, I feel like I was so attached to Tamlin, and maybe it was just like my naivety, me being naive. Naivety. I can't say that word. Wow. I think it was just me being naive that I just like. I didn't recognize kind of like the abusive tendencies that Tamlin was having in the first two books. So when she completely like left Tamlin, I was like, wait, no, you're supposed to get married. What's going on? And I felt like it just happened so quick and their relationship was over so quickly that I didn't have time to mourn them as a couple. And I was not a fan of Rhys and Feyre to begin with, but this book definitely changed my mind.
Well, when I was reading ACOTAR and even like the first half of ACOMAF, I was just like, okay, Feyre, Tamlin, yeah, I guess this works, okay, whatever. And then
you weren't committed to the relationship.
I wasn't committed to the books. And then, you know, with seeing Rhys and Feyre, it's just like, well, why was Tamlin and Feyre ever a thing? Like, why? I'm kind of just like, I read that, what? And now it's Rhys and Feyre, and it's like Rhys and Feyre all the time.
And what did you think about Tamlin? You didn't like that she was with Tamlin at all, Kat?
I did. Like, I don't know. I liked Rhys. I usually I tend, like in this series, I really like the bad boy vibe that he gave in the first book, even though I do agree that some of the things that he did was very, very bad. I don't agree with some of the things that he did, like the whole making her wear revealing clothing and drugging her. So I was kind of put off by that, but I liked him, and I thought that there was more to his story than was being revealed. And so I just really liked him, and nothing wrong against Tamlin. I felt like there was nothing special about Tamlin, and I guess that's why I really like Rhys.
Yeah. So since we're on the topic of Tamlin, do you guys want to get right into like the big spoiler and talk about how he saved Rhys's life?
Oh my God, I was okay.
I liked it. I'm not gonna lie, I liked it because throughout the story, like I felt like it gave him like his redeeming arc.
Yeah.
Because I felt bad about how he was portrayed in the second. I mean, I get it, he did some really bad things, but I kind of felt bad for him because I feel like some people talked about this. I feel like it wasn't completely his fault about the way he treated Feyre. In the world that he grew up in, women were just there, you know, they were more like a pretty thing for them to be. There were no high ladies. He's never heard of that sort of thing, and so he always felt like he needed to protect Feyre, and so maybe that's why he acted like a jerk sometimes, but he never came across a female that doesn't need protecting like Feyre did, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping for a redeeming arc for him, like a nice redeeming arc. And in the end, when he's like, I hope you're happy or something like that to Feyre, I was like, I love that. I really, really did.
Yeah, it was really sweet. And like, and an example of like, I mean, I know, like you said, I know Tamlin did some really messed up stuff. Like, there's no denying that. But when Feyre was in the spring court in the beginning of the book, right? They didn't have any sexual relations, right? Even though at that moment she was acting as if she was with Tamlin, right? She was playing that part. I am with you and we are together. And she told Tamlin, I am not ready for any of that. I'm not ready to have this relationship with you, a sexual relationship at least, you know, because of all the traumatic things that's been happening to me. And he was okay with that. He never forced her or anything. And so I felt like that kind of gave him a bit of a redeeming thing. He could have, you know, been overbearing and, you know, forced her to do things that she didn't want to do, but he didn't. And then, of course, the end where, you know, he did something he didn't have to. He could have been spiteful and horrible and just said, you know, if I can't be happy, you can't be happy either, but he didn't. So, I mean, obviously there's some sort of true love that he did have for Feyre, you know, even a little bit, that he would do that for her, that he just wants her to be happy.
Yeah.
Can you just like, after all of the events of this book and like the second book, do you ever just think about like the first book where he like came and like took her away and everything, and you're just like, wow, that happened that long ago?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I've been thinking about that since I finished the book. I was just like, geez, it's so long.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know, it really does make you think, like when you see the way that Reese treats her and how different it is from Tamlin. Like when we didn't know who Reese was, we're just like, oh, that's sweet. He's being protective and nice and all these things. But then we see how Reese treats her, and it's like a completely different story. So I think it makes their love a lot more special and real and genuine too.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. So
say something I can't remember.
That's like the story of my life when it comes to these live shows. I can't. I always I have so much to talk about, and then I can't think of anything.
Oh, I remember. I was really worried, like, at the end of Akamov, and I said this in the group chat. I was like, is she going to be in the spring court for, like, all of this book? Because I'm going to, like, hate this book if she is.
Yeah, I was so worried. She wasn't there very long, like
120 pages.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, 100 pages. It's not that bad at all. And yeah. I'm glad that she didn't have to, like, spend a lot of time, like, in this faking it. That would have, like, really sucked, being separated from her mate and stuff. Does the mate thing weird you out?
No. Yes.
Okay, cool. I don't like the word mate. I don't know.
I don't like okay. I get why they use that word, though, because, like, and the only way I can describe it is because you know how Tamlin has his, like, beast form? That's the only way I can. That's why I think that they use that word.
Yeah, maybe, I guess. I don't know. I think when it comes to worlds like this, maybe they use it because they don't get married, right? Like, do they mate for life? Like, they have, I guess that's like the thing.
Remember at the end of ACOTAR when Reese has that moment where he gasps and then he runs away? I think that was like the bond clicking in place for him.
Yeah.
I think that's the version of, I don't know. And remember when in Akamov when she gives him food?
Yeah, I remember that.
And he said that that's like the way of the female accepting the bond or something like that. I think that's like their like.
I like that. I don't know how you
marriage ceremony.
Right. Like it's it. We're mated for life. Oh, and well.
They discussed. I think it was at the end of Akamov. They discussed like, well, what is that? Do we get married? Do you call me mate, wife, whatever? And he's like, well, I'll call you mate, but like I'm totally down to get married. And like, and then she became the High Lady.
I don't remember a lot of I remember the finer details of ACOTAR a lot, but Akamov was kind of like, I remember overall kind of what happened, but I don't remember the little details like that. Akamov was just like, I don't know. Akamov wasn't my favorite. Like I said, I think I really like ACOTAR. I love ACOWAR, but Akamov is probably my least favorite of the series.
Really? I love that book.
I don't know. I mean, I think I still gave it like a 4-star. I think I gave ACOTAR and Akamov 4 stars, but I just was like, it was the Tamlin thing. Like I was so committed to Tamlin for some reason, and it just like I guess it was horrible. All those horrible things that he did, I was just like, oh, that's sweet. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but
I remember I said this in the group chat, and it was okay. So I spoiled myself for Reese's death, but that was an accident. But before that, I had said that I think I accidentally spoiled myself on Instagram. And what had happened was, I think, I don't remember which hashtag I was looking at. It was one of it might have been just the Sarah J. Maas hashtag. And there was fan art of Reese, and he had kids around him. And I was like, dear God, did I just spoil myself for the end of this book?
Yeah, no.
Oh my, I was hoping that would be the end, though.
No,
I was hoping that like those 2 ending chapters would be like Feyre with a big old pregnant belly.
Seriously.
No.
Yeah.
But that leads me to another question.
3 books. Maybe in the next 3 books.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe they'll have babies in the next book.
That leads me to my next thing, because like you know how most fantasy books, most books in general, especially in a series, they end off with everything's fine and good and happy, but oh no, this is happening, right? Like especially like 3 books and stuff, like, you know what I mean, right? Like everything's good and everything's resolved, but oh no, now there's this other bad thing we need to fix, right? Like most books end like that. This didn't have any of that, and I'm
there is the queens. Remember the 3 human queens? they at the end of ACOWAR, they talk about how they need to take care of the queens now who have sided with the king of
Hybern. It just didn't seem like
it didn't
big of a deal.
Yep, they did mention that somewhere along the in the book. They did mention that there's the problems of the queens still need to be taken care of.
Well, what I was getting at is I'm almost willing to bet, and I think it would be really cool if that was the end of Rhys and Feyre, and the new story follows somebody new or new characters. Or
I'm hoping, and I just thought of this. I'm hoping it doesn't pull like a selection series thing where it's like first 3 books are like, oh, their life, and the like next 2 or 3 are like their child. No.
I liked that about the selection, though, but we can't talk about that because we're going to spoil Kat, and she still needs to read it.
Get on it, Kat. You bought the first book.
I don't care who it is, but I think I would be okay with this being the end of Rhys and Feyre's story. You know what I mean? Like, if the next books followed different people in this world, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. I love them too much.
I have a question for you guys. What did you think of Amber with a love and?
Oh, when she, what?
I didn't like, to be just putting that out, I did not like it. I thought she would have been a great character to be the one without a love interest.
Wait, are we talking about, is Amren was it Amren or Moore that said that they were lesbian?
That's Moore. Amren's the big, out of this dimension being, remember? She's the one who saved them.
But I don't remember the love interest she said.
One guy.
Who is she with?
I don't know. It's one of the like the princes of some other court. Remember?
No.
Like
I kind of remember, but I don't, because I was really stuck on Moore, and then I really wanted to talk about Lucien and Feyre's sister. But maybe this romance kind of like fell to the back burner with me, and I didn't really pay attention to it. I need to remember.
It wasn't that big because all of a sudden they were in the camp. Remember, they were about to attack the king or whatever. They're in the camp, and then all of a sudden, Amren, this guy appears out of nowhere, and they go and off and have sex. And I'm like, what the f? And then remember, at the end, she's about to sacrifice herself. She's about to get out of her her fae body.
Yeah.
And, don't do this. He comes up and he's like, don't do this.
And wasn't it Helion?
I think so. I'm not sure. It's one of the princes from one of the courts.
Oh, now I don't know. I'm trying to find that fan art that I thought I spoiled myself on.
I don't remember what page.
I wish I could remember. I wish I could remember when that happened, or else I would have opinion on it. But I do, however, have a lot of opinions about Moore and Lucien.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, I didn't like it. I feel like it's Sarah J. Maas's way of pairing everybody off. But there are people who's not. I just felt like Amren it's one of those characters that would have been perfect to be. She just, like, in the first 2 books, she just didn't seem like she was interested in that kind of thing. Yeah. She would have been perfect asexual.
Oh, yeah.
That's just me, though.
No, yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from. If that was that the only time? Well, I guess the battle too was when it was mentioned, and I definitely remember that. But I
they're only mentioned those 2 times. Like, her relationship is when they're in the camp and she goes off to sleep with this guy all of a sudden, and then at the end when he tries to stop her from sacrificing herself.
Right. Huh. So, what do I want to talk about first? Moore or Lucien? I don't know. Let's talk about Moore. Were you guys expecting her to kind of come out as a lesbian?
I wasn't expecting it, and at one point I was like angry about it because I felt like it was all of a sudden there. But I can see how Sarah J. Maas led up to, because with what's his name, the one that's really in love with her, she never gave him attention, and I can see why she wouldn't be with him.
I felt like it was just like,
I feel like it came out of nowhere. When I was reading it.
Yeah, for me it did, and I'm kind of upset about it because she has sex with other people, with other men, and and like, it's fine that you don't have interest in this guy, but I feel like it was just Sarah J. Maas going, oh, look, there's a gay character. See, I'm diverse. I can do these things. I can have LGBTQ characters in my books. Because, like, if you're, I guess there are lesbians who have slept with men before, but I think that's more a part of, like, teenage experimenting or, like, trying to figure out who you are and things like that. I'm sure there are a lot of people who have done that. I'm not a lesbian, so I wouldn't know. But I just feel like she's 500 plus years old. If she really didn't want to be with him, why not sleep with a female and be like, look, I can see that you're interested with me, but I'm gonna flaunt it in front of you that if you're too much of a coward to say, look, I'm a lesbian, that's why I don't have any interest in you, that's fine. Not everyone is brave enough to say it, but maybe like sleep with a woman and not a man. Like, I don't know. It just seemed kind of like, I didn't believe it.
I didn't expect it, but I respected it when it was said. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm hip with this.
Yeah,
I think that what pissed me off is that she's been stringing Asriel this whole time. He's been in love with her for a very, very long ass time.
Yeah, I mean, they're over 500 years old.
Afraid, even if she's afraid to come out and say, hey, I am this way, I'm not interested in you sexually, that's perfectly fine. But the fact of the matter is that she strung along this really amazing guy who's completely in love with her. And yeah, she doesn't even have to come out to him. She just could just say, I'm not interested in you like that. Let's just be friends. She doesn't have to say anything about her sexuality. Yeah. And I guess that's what made me really, really upset. And that's why it kind of knocked me out. Like, I didn't expect it because she's been stringing him along all this time. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you should be a decent person and tell him, hey, it's not going to happen. And maybe in a future date, I will tell you why. But right now, I will tell you it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I just that's something that I was upset with as a character. But most of the reasons why I was upset was that Sarah J. Maas doing this specific thing that I really didn't like. Honestly, I think that's the only thing about the story that I didn't like. I just felt like she could have done it. She could have introduced a LGBTQ character in a much, much better way rather than having this girl have sex with all these guys in order to not tell anybody that she's a lesbian. Like, I didn't like it at all. So, yeah, I wasn't a fan. I just realized my computer's dying and my cord is plugged into the other room, so I have to move back.
Oh, my goodness.
I, moved rooms, and now I have to move rooms again because my computer's dying. I'm, literally the worst at this.
This is why we get on a half hour early to prepare.
I know, right?
Well, okay. While we're having this moving situation, I'd like to bring up the point of the length of this book, and okay,
this did not need to be 700 pages. God.
Well, I said this in the group chat too, and I was like, "Girl, I totally get what you mean by it feels like you're reading it forever." And then I pointed out, I was like, "Man, war must take a long time to prepare."
Yeah.
Yeah, there was. But I feel like the length didn't bother me so much because I was listening to the audiobook, but I feel like there are some books that are too long unnecessarily, but I feel like everything that happened in this book, it made sense. There wasn't anything in there that didn't need to be in there, Does that make sense?
Yeah, it just, here's the thing for me. I was on a time crunch to read it, and I was just like, dear God, how do I get this done in a week? And I still had to finish Asimov at the time, too.
Yeah, a week ago, Chloe hadn't even finished Asimov. So let's just round of applause to Chloe for finishing this book because you did I didn't think you were going to do it.
I started it exactly a week ago. I started it last Sunday.
Yeah, I didn't think that you would be able to do it. And you did it.
I had a crippling headache 2 different nights, and I was just like, I'm not making my goal. And the thing was, I was like, okay, if I read 100 pages a day, I can get this done. And there was one day where I only read 30 pages, and I didn't get to page 400, and I redeemed myself the next day.
All right, so you guys want to talk about Lucian and Farrah's sister. What is her name? I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Elaine, yes. Elaine. What do you guys think about that?
I feel bad for Lucian because Elaine is going through like a hard time and she obviously needs like space. But I feel so bad because I felt his frustration. Like when you meet, I guess in this world, when you meet your mate, you need to be next to them, you need to support them. And he obviously wants to help her, but he doesn't know how. And I feel so bad. I felt so bad for him because I actually really do like Lucian. And I don't know.
Can I bring up the group chat for a second? Because I opened it and like an explosion of messages just came through.
Wait, what?
The group chat, or not the group chat, the chat.
Oh, yeah, totally. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I opened it in like.
Oh, yeah, I'm watching the chat right here. Yeah.
Yeah. The story. No, I hated that part. It was not well written at all. The reason, the lead up, etc. I think she's talking about. Are we talking about more? I keep getting those two mixed up. Yeah. She agrees with us. Mother Owlery welcomes Kat. I asked my mom, because I told my mom, I was like, hey, we call Elizabeth's mom Mother Owlery. Can we give you a cool name too? But she never answered me.
Anything else?
She had the same person. She had other characters that had varying sexual preferences in the last book. In Akamoth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, who? I don't remember anybody.
Yeah, who? I don't know.
And I just felt like, I don't know, for me, like, getting back to more, I felt like it was just a cop-out.
Yeah.
Well, have you guys read it? Are you guys caught up with the Throne of Glass series?
No, don't spoil me. I gotta work on that.
Spoil you. She does the same thing. Let's just say that.
I've read the first two, and then I tried to read the third one, and I couldn't. So now I'm on this Sarah J. Maas kick. So I'm trying to like.
No, I'm over the Throne of Glass series. Like.
Yeah, it's not my favorite, but she does the same thing in it.
Yeah. I read like what? How many books are out? I'm caught up.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books out right now, plus Assassin's Blade.
Assassin's Blade is 6.
Yeah.
With the Assassin's Blade 6. Yeah, I've read 6 books. I'm over it. I'm done. I don't even know if I'm going to continue on with that series.
Hey, you guys want to have a Sarah J. Maas catch-up session with me then, since I need to catch up?
Sure. I'm not reading those books again.
We'll see. Kat's willing to, though. Like, I've read the first 2, so I'll read recaptains of the first 2. Then I need to read the prequel.
My opinion is.
Huh?
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat.
Oh, the group chat.
What are they saying?
She's saying the same girl who's like, she's like, she had other characters that had varying sexual preferences. The last book, she's talking about the leader of the other courts, Akor. There's that one guy who kind of like, I think he's bisexual.
The Helion?
Yeah. I don't know his name.
I think he's fabulous. I think he's totally fantastic.
And then there's the other leader. I forget which court he was on. His partner is the I think his general, and it's obviously a gay relationship. So yeah.
I don't remember that, but I believe you.
Maybe it's not like I didn't remember any of those things, and maybe it's not like. Maybe it's not a bad way that it's bad how she introduces that this main character has, is LGBTQ. Like that's the thing that like I didn't like is how she introduces it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe she's tired of all the flack that she got from people about not being diverse enough, and now she's just like
she's doing it all wrong, like in my opinion.
Yeah, she's not doing it the right way. I don't know.
Wrong.
Yeah.
But anyway, we were talking about Lucian.
Yeah, Lucian and Elaine. What do y'all feel about it?
Maybe they'll explore that.
What did you say, Chloe?
Said maybe they'll explore that more in the next books.
Yeah, I was really bummed that we didn't get more of it. And I really like your point, Kat, because it kind of reminds me of like, I suffer from bipolar disorder, and my husband is the love of my life. And I am the love of his, at least I hope. But I can tell there when I'm having my bad days and he wants to help me and he can't. I can definitely see how it would be frustrating. If I were in his shoes, I would be really frustrated and I would want to help him as much as I could, but you just can't. And so it's like, and everyone thought that she was crazy to begin with. And so having all these problems and no one really understanding what was going on with her, I could definitely see how that would be, really hard on Lucian. And I think he's a great guy, and I'm glad that he found somebody, because he didn't have the best like childhood growing up with all of his brothers, and I don't like any of those guys.
Let's take a second to talk about how Feyre thinks that Helion is Lucian's father. Yeah, I just thought about that.
That was like, I like that. I like that plot twist. I was like,
his dad's fantastic then.
Yeah.
I really like Helion.
I know, I love Helion. He's funny. He's hilarious. He's a good character.
I don't know what to think about that. I was like, that's interesting, but
I feel like that's an unanswered question that Sarah J. Maas is going to address in the next books, which is why I think we will probably still see Feyre in the next book.
Well, I'm hoping we're not going to be like we're not going to be focusing on like a new complete different character. I'm hoping we're still going to be focusing on the same characters, but working out problems, like wondering like, oh, what's going to happen with Lucian and Elaine? Well, what about Lucian and we found out that this is his dad and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, for sure. I love that, speaking of Lucian and Elaine, I love that she's a seer. I thought that was really, really cool.
One thing, in the chat, that same girl, the story, she wrote, now that Azriel and Mor are not going to be a thing, Maas has left it open for it to be a triangle between Azriel, Lucian, and Elaine. And I actually can kind of see that happening, because Elaine really started trusting Azriel in the books. And I almost thought if she didn't have already a mate, I thought I would totally see Azriel and Elaine happening, and I would really enjoy it. I would really like that to happen.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I don't know. I think that would create a lot of problems, because like Lucian is not going to be down with that. Like it would be disastrous.
What do you guys think of Nesta and Cassian?
Oh, hold on. I need to remember.
I like it. I do like it because he's such a bitch. He kind of like brings her down to earth, and I really like him. I really like their interaction. I feel like their personalities go so well together. What? It's true, she is.
I kind of just like predicted it. I was like, Cassian's always around Nesta. Something's gonna go down.
I love how badass she is. Like, she is so freaking awesome, though. Like, she's the one that killed the King of Hybern, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that scene where she kills him was so freaking awesome. And
wait, was it her or Elaine who did it?
I thought it was Nesta.
It was like both of them.
It was one of them, I remember that.
Well, Nesta stabbed him, and then Elaine severed his head.
Oh, that's right.
Is that how it happened?
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't see that Elaine like finished it off, but it was still badass. And that was right after they found out their dad died, right?
Yeah.
And Hybern was the one that killed him. Mm-hmm. So that was just like, it was an awesome scene. I loved that. That was so good. It was highly enjoyable. Probably one of my favorite scenes in this series. Hands down. And I don't know if it matters to anybody, this book series, I feel like really like is on the teeter-totter of like young adult and new adult, because those sex scenes, you guys.
Yeah, it was Elaine. It was Elaine who killed. That's what I thought, because I think Nesta was like having a hard time killing him, and Elaine came behind him and killed him.
Oh, okay.
Nesta. Okay.
I have just been informed that there is a short story in the Target exclusive.
Yeah, I knew about that. I didn't know it, but it was when I went to Target, it wasn't there, and I was so mad because I wanted.
Is it in the? Okay, can you tell us if it is in the paperback or the hardcover? Because I may be making a Target trip after this.
I think it was in the hardcover, because Sarah J. Maas sent out a newsletter saying that Target was going to have the exclusive short story on one of the new hardcovers that was coming out before the book was released. And I went
before Akimov or before Akimov?
What? Oh, I'm not sure.
I wonder what characters it follows, because I'd be down to make a Target run, and we can just sit in the aisle and read it.
I'm literally about to go make a Target run after this. The problem is, last time I was at Target, they only had paperback of Akimov, so I'm like, is it in paperback or?
I thought it was Akimov. They said that they had it.
It's Akimov.
Oh.
It says it's hardcover.
Well, I'm sure she's gonna do something like the Assassin's Blade, where she just puts all the short stories together.
I'm gonna go on Goodreads real quick, because I didn't even know there were short stories that went with this series. I might go to Target after this anyway.
I thought it was like when Sarah J. Maas sent her newsletter was ACOWAR, but whatever. One of them has an exclusive story that I wanted and I didn't get it. So.
And I never get exclusive stuff like that because I buy everything off of Amazon.
Well, I ordered sometimes I'll buy from Target, but I ordered these copies from Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
So while Chloe does that, I want to talk about this cereal.
Ah!
Is that how we pronounce? Do you guys pronounce it that way? I pronounce it cereal.
Cereal.
Cereal. Okay, that just sounds so weird to me. Like that's the weirdest name. But I teared up a little bit.
I did. I cried. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, that was the most beautiful scene in the whole book. Mm-hmm. I cried more during his scene than when their dad died.
Yeah.
I was just really sad, and I really liked that Feyre was so compassionate to him, and he was like, go, before they come. And he was like, no. She was like, no, I have a few more minutes. And then when she gave him the cloak from, like the new cloak from the other guy who came to pick her up.
Yeah.
Because all he had was this raggedy. It was so beautiful. I loved it.
It was beautiful, and like I can't. It was a beautiful scene, and I love that it gave like a lot. It showed like some real emotion from Feyre that we don't really see unless it's like her love for Rhys. Other than that, she's got like a lot of passion and stuff like that, but it was really raw, and it was like such a beautiful scene, and I like teared up, and it was so sad just to see. I listened to that part on audiobook, and it was just like, oh, it was like heart-wrenching. It was so emotional, and I felt so bad for her, and yeah.
And the thing is, he knew that he was being followed or something like that, so he knew he was going to die, and yet he went to meet her anyway to give her the answers that she needed. Yeah. And I was like, this is so beautiful, like such a beautiful scene. I really loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, I found something. Okay, well, I haven't found a lot, but so there's books 4, 5, and 6, which will take us through 2020. And then in 2021, there's an untitled novella. And in 2022, there's another untitled novella. That's
way too far ahead for me. Goodness. Great.
Yeah, but that's all there is. There's no talk of a short story. And so now what I've seen on Book Outlet, for certain books, they'll have different editions. Like they'll have like the Books A Million edition or the Target edition or whatever. So I'm looking on Book Outlet now to see if they have any of them, and they don't have any of the ACOTAR books. They only have.
She hasn't published the short story by itself. Like you can buy it on ebook for 99 cents or something. Like if she hasn't published it like that, it's not going to be on Goodreads anyway.
Well, yeah.
But I see what you're saying.
I'm gonna go to her website now and see if there's any mention of it. I just want to read it now.
So what was I? Oh my God, there was something I was gonna say, and now I can't think of it. You just have to go to Target and buy it, girl.
I'm gonna sit in the aisle and read it. I'm gonna sit in the aisle and I may actually go to Target after this now. I'll call you guys if I find anything.
Yeah, let me know. Oh my God, there was something that I wanted to talk about, and now I cannot remember at all. Oh my God.
Now you've done it.
I know. There was something really important that I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember what it is. It's really bad.
Our chat said that Tumblr has the short story of Nessian, if y'all want to read it.
Is that the short story that was in Asimov?
I'm not sure.
Can somebody confirm that?
We'll have to do our research after the live show and find out where the heck we can get this short story.
Can you send this link into the chat, please?
Let us know.
And then tell me if that's the one that was in Asimov.
I hope she does like a novella, like short story type thingamabob. That would be cool.
Well, apparently,
what was it that I wanted to talk about? I'm so mad.
There's a box set coming out.
Surreal, whatever.
No, it was something else. I knew I wanted to talk about the cereal, and then I wanted to talk about something else, and I don't remember what the heck it was. Like, I have a list of all the things that happened in the book that I'm like, I need to vent and talk about, and I cannot think of what it was.
Guys, this isn't ACOTAR related, but okay, so you know how Wonder Woman's coming out, the Warbringer book? Well, apparently Sarah J. Maas is going to be the author for the Catwoman one next year.
Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Now I'm excited. Yeah. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, she's going to write a Catwoman.
Yes.
I think that she's going to start working on it now. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, carry on.
Cool. Well, I would carry on if I could remember what it was that I wanted to say, and I can't. Oh, the cauldron. Oh my God, the cauldron. Okay. Do you guys picture, have you ever seen the movie, like, is it The Sword and the Stone from Disney?
The cartoon one?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I picture the cauldron as some ridiculously cartoonish, and it looks, every time, like, during the battle scene, I was just picturing, like, this big cartoonish, like, cauldron, like, bouncing around. And I don't know. I just can't take the cauldron seriously. Does anyone else feel that way?
No.
I just thought it was a cauldron thing there. Cauldron, whatever.
But how does it move?
What?
It's magical, so I'm assuming I don't know.
It just, I don't know. The idea of a magical cauldron just sounds so childish. Like, I would understand if it was like a stationary thing and it had magical abilities like bringing the dead back and you know, making fae out of it. I get that. But why is it walking around and doing things? Like, I don't understand it, and I don't know if I like it. I don't know. Like, it just seems so weird. I just picture this really oversized, cartoonish cauldron walking around on a battlefield. Like, it just doesn't make sense in my head. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone on that, but it just doesn't make sense to me, I guess. I don't know. I'm alone on that one, I guess. Just weird. Yeah.
You can find anything about, okay, I'm gonna just type in Google, like, Target exclusive edition.
Girl, you're just gonna have to go to Target and sit in the aisle and read it.
No, that's not the problem. The problem is I think Target only has paperbacks of Akamov, and it's only in the hardcover.
ACOWAR, girl. It's ACOWAR. It's in ACOWAR. And they have hardcovers right now.
She said it's in Akamov. I'm, like, looking in the chat.
Well, then you're screwed. I don't know what to tell
Exactly.
you. I guarantee you she's going to make a novella bind-up thing. I promise you. It's going to happen.
It's a way to make more money, so of course people will buy it. So
people will buy it. I would buy it.
Wait, I think I found it.
Out soon, but it'll come.
Hold on. I think I found it. It's called, okay, I think it's, okay. Oh. Somebody found it in Target, took pictures of every single page, and posted it on Tumblr.
That's interesting.
Send that link later. Did you?
Yeah, send the link to us.
I'll send it in the chat now. Okay, this means I don't have to go to.
That's hilarious. Whoever did that, thank you.
Okay, and apparently there's an Empire of Storms short story as well in the Barnes & Noble and Target editions for our Empire of Storms. Yeah, I'm going to send this in the chat now. That's hilarious.
What did you think of Feyre using all those different monsters to fight the war?
I thought it was smart. I really liked the Carver, and what was the other one that she found underneath the library?
I don't remember the name.
I don't remember the name, but remember at the end of the book, she's Rhys tells
missing.
Her he ran away or she ran away, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember that. And like, I don't understand why. I don't know. They were gonna get a window for it.
They were gonna get a window.
He wanted a window, so they were like, "Sure, we'll give you a window." But I mean, I guess if all you ask for is a window, then you have to know it's gonna run away. I don't know. And like, how was a big old beast?
It ran away. It did run away. Okay.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, they were on like the rooftop or something, and Rhys was like, "It's gone."
For some reason, I thought it died.
No, yeah, I remember Rhys told her that it was gone when they were sitting on the rooftop, which is also like another one of my favorite scenes because it was beautiful. Yes. And they're like, I love how often Sarah J. Maas mentions that they look at the stars because they're in the night court. Like stars are everywhere. Stars are in Rhys's eyes. Stars are everywhere. Like she sees stars all the time, and I don't know. Some places it makes sense. Some places it's kind of like, okay, that's kind of weird, but I like it because she's High Lady of the Night Court, and it's fitting, and I enjoy that.
Yeah, it was.
I really like that. All right, so I've run out of my list of things that I wanted to talk about. So yeah, 45 minutes. That's about how long we usually do these things.
So apparently this short story, it follows Nesta and Cassian.
Oh yeah, Kat said that.
Wait, during when? Does it say? Like during Akama, in between, Aquawar, after Aquawar?
It doesn't say when. Well, I'm assuming because it's only in an Akamoff edition, it comes before Aquawar, but it doesn't say. But I found it. I sent it like.
And it's Cassian and who?
Nesta.
So, what did you guys think of the Bone Carver turning into their son? When
that was weird. Like, I don't know. I pictured like
that's true.
For me, the way that I pictured it was, even though he looked like their son, she was like so like aghast. Like, I don't know if that's the best word to explain it, but like she was so like shocked by it. I felt like I pictured this little boy was like but looked demonic, like dark eyes, sharp teeth, and like, yeah, it was obviously their son. And then like, would you really be able to pick your child out of a crowd? If you know your future child, they gave you 10 pictures and they were like, pick your future kid. How did she know? How did she know, like, right off the bat that was her kid? I don't think I would have been able to recognize my future kid.
I think the book says that it looks like them. I think she said that the book the boy looks like Reese, and that's what it was. I'm not sure.
Right, but like, there's lots of kids. Like, I mean, I look pretty similar to my mom, but like Matthew doesn't look like my mom a lot. He looks more like my dad. I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe it should have been like introduced that he was the face of their future child in a different way. Like, I just don't think that she would have. I mean, she saw him and initially was like, "Oh, that's my kid." It just, I don't know, it was weird. Oh, what do you think she saw in the mirror? I don't think that was ever announced, was it?
Yeah, they talked about,
like, specifically?
Not specifically, but
right. But she said like she was like, I told them what I saw, but they never told us. What did you see in the mirror? It's interesting. I don't know. I was very curious. I was like very curious to find out if she looked in the mirror, what really would she see? You know?
I think she did look in the mirror. I just don't remember what she saw. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I know she did. Yeah, I don't think she ever mentioned that she told them what she saw, or she told anyone what she saw.
I don't think it was explicitly told.
It was briefly mentioned, basically.
Yeah, it was briefly mentioned.
Mm-hmm. I was really looking forward to finding out like what the deal with this mirror is. I thought that was really cool. It was a really cool point in the plot that they mentioned, and I wanted to know more about it.
The chat says it was the worst parts of herself, but that's
yeah, I knew that, but I wanted to know specifically what she saw. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a description would have been nice.
Yeah, but I know it's supposed to be like the worst parts of herself, and and that's why most people go crazy when they see that they see.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it just proves that she's like good for the most part. Like, she's not this horrible person on the inside, so that's why she was able to look in it. And I really liked that the Carver was like, I never really wanted the mirror. I just wanted to prove that you were worthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you could look in it and not go insane because of what you saw, then you're worth me helping you. And I thought that was a really cool plot point as well.
And then he dies. And then he dies.
Yeah, right?
Like, what?
I really like, though, that there are things about Sarah J. Maas, like, a lot of fantasy has fairies and dragons, but she brings in like the Bone Carver and the Suriel and the other monster that's like that lives below the library. All of those things, I've never seen something like that in a different fantasy, and I really like that she brings in her own like unique characters and beasts and things like that. I think that's really cool. She is a talented fantasy writer, I will say that.
See, and now when I read the rest of the Throne of Glass series, I'm curious because Fae are involved, I think, starting in the third book.
Yep.
I'm interested to see how that compares.
Like I'm not as like I'm caught up on the Throne of Glass series, but I personally prefer Akatar better.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. Just because I don't like the main character in Throne of Glass, I don't like Selena anymore, and so I'm just like, eh.
I don't like anything about the Throne of Glass series anymore. Like, I'm just over it. I don't know. I don't know. I just
got your book signed, didn't you? At wherever.
Yeah, but that was before I read the most recent ones, I think. And honestly, and if it wasn't, I've really come to this conclusion since like maybe January or February. Like, I realized I don't like it.
Like the first 2 books in the series was my favorite. Like Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight were really, really good. And then after that, like the series just kind of went downhill.
Yeah.
Like I like Empire Storms. Empire Storms was good, but like I don't know,
Yeah, the 3rd book was what got me too. I was just like, I don't know. I didn't know that it was going to be a fairy book, and I almost feel like she didn't plan it to be that way either. Like,
well, you have to look at it from the 1st book to the 3rd book. Like, whoa, where did this series even go? Like, it went a really different direction than I was expecting.
Yeah, and then there's like dragons, and I don't know. I wasn't expecting it to be so high fantasy because it didn't start out that way. It really started out like a low, chill fantasy, and now it's like super high fantasy, and there's literally 100 characters, and there are people who have allegiances to other people but lie about it, and it's just insane. I mean, I could rant about the Throne of Glass. I'm sorry, Chloe.
What book are you read up to? Are you caught up in the whole series?
Who?
Elizabeth?
Oh yeah, I'm caught up. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought we were talking about Chloe. We'll stop talking about it, Chloe. I'm sorry.
Kat, you gotta
forget
reread so I can catch up. Like 1 book a month, 1 a month.
Oh God.
Have fun with that.
It's like how you're doing with Mortal Instruments.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, that.
We can read Assassin's Blade this month. Did Assassin's Blade come out first or Heir of Fire? Which came out first?
I would recommend. You can read Heir of Fire first. I would recommend reading Assassin's Blade before Queen of Shadows. That's
before Queen of Shadows.
Girl, I would tell people to read Assassin's Blade before Throne of Glass.
I mean, you can, but make sure you read it before Queen of Shadows because there's a lot of characters in Queen of Shadows that is first introduced in Assassin's Blade.
I'm gonna read it in publication order, so I'm gonna let me pull it up real quick on Goodreads.
Well, I don't even want to talk about that series right now since we're talking about ACOWAR. We'll talk about that after the live show ends. But that's pretty much everything that I wanted to mention about ACOWAR. Was there anything else you guys wanted to talk about with ACOWAR? I think that was everything I knew I wanted to mention. Chloe?
I'm good, except Reese and Feyre need to have babies now.
Yeah, I love them. I'm glad. I thought that we would talk about them more. As we were talking about the book, like more and more things were popping in my head that I remembered were going on, and I was like, oh yeah, this and oh yeah, that. But no, I love Reese and Feyre, and I'm really excited to see where the rest of the series goes. So then we'll go around and talk about, at the end, we give our thoughts again for anyone who might have missed it in the beginning, what we rated it, and then we will go ahead and sign off. So Kat, what were your really simple thoughts, and what did you rate it again?
I rated it 4 stars. I really did enjoy the book. I thought it was too long. Like when I was reading the book, I was just like, okay, get on with it, please. But I really enjoyed the story. I did like how it ended. Some of the things I didn't agree with, but for the majority, I did like how some things were wrapped up nicely, and I love how she did leave some things unanswered for the next 3 books, although I don't know how she's going to do that. But overall, I did enjoy it. 4 stars for me, so.
Chloe?
Overall, I gave it 4 stars. I'm very surprised that I hated this series in the beginning, and now I love it. I also think it was too long, but apparently war takes a lot of preparation. So yeah, 4 stars.
And I give it 5 stars. I loved it. There was the whole LGBTQ more. Was it more? It's more that came out as lesbian. Yeah, I really didn't like that, but Oh no, I don't know. Like I really didn't, when I rated it 5 stars, that wasn't something that I had initially thought of. So I might give it a 4.5 stars after contemplating that. But definitely my favorite book in the series so far, and my favorite Sarah J. Maas book, definitely. And I really, really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for the next one to come out. So that's all we have. Oh no, Chloe's favorite part of the live show. I forgot.
Well, I was gonna say we should get the ACOTAR coloring book now, but so the July, I gotta pull up my calendar real quick. So the July book of the month is, and nobody has a physical copy of it, is Bad Romance by Heather Demetrios. Our live show is scheduled
Which is a contemporary, and it deals with abuse. If anyone's interested.
And the live show is scheduled for Sunday, August 6th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Same place, same time.
Etc. etc.
And our what's it called? Our
guest.
Thank you. Our guest person that will be joining us that month is Trina from Between Chapters. So thank you, Kat, for.
I don't know who it was.
Yes, it's Trina from Between Chapters. I sent you the list, Chloe.
No, you didn't.
I definitely did.
You didn't send me the list because I don't know half of the people you've told me, but you haven't sent me a list.
Oh, well, we wrote it down. Anyway, we'll have to figure that out later. But thank you to Kat for joining us for the Asimov live show. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. All right. So we will see you guys next month to talk about Bad Romance by Heather Demetrios. Thank you so much for coming. The links for Chloe and Kat are also down in the description below, so check them out, as with the Once Upon a Read Along on Twitter. Go ahead and give that a follow. And we will see you guys next month. Bye.
Bye.